A man decides to seek help from a psychiatrist due to his drinking habits. As he settles down on the cozy couch in the psychiatrist's office, the doctor kindly asks, "Can you please share with me the reason behind your drinking?" Taking a deep breath, the man replies, "Absolutely. Let me explain. It all started when I made the decision to get married, and perhaps that wasn't the best choice. You see, I fell in love with a widow who had a grown daughter. That daughter soon became my stepdaughter." Continuing the story, he adds, "Then, to make things more interesting, my own dad came to visit us. Surprisingly, he fell head over heels for my stepdaughter, and they ended up getting married, making my stepdaughter my stepmother. Now, to make matters even more complicated, my wife and I had a son. Naturally, he became the brother of my stepmother, since she's the daughter of my dad's new wife. So my stepdaughter, who is now my stepmother, became my son's aunt. Are you still following?" The psychiatrist nods, intrigued by the intricate family dynamics. The man continues, "But wait, there's more. Since my new son is the brother of my stepmother, he's also my uncle. Adding to the complexity, my wife is now both my stepmother and my step-grandmother, thanks to her being the mother of my stepmother. And of course, let's not forget that my stepmother herself is also my stepdaughter." The psychiatrist's eyes widened, understanding the mind-boggling situation, then finally interrupts him, "I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to stop you right there." "Why?" asks the man. The doctor replies, "Because I need a drink." In a small town, a doctor is about to retire, and he is training a young colleague to replace him. The young doctor observes as they visit the patients at their homes together. "Doctor, I've been having a constant stomachache lately," cries the first patient. The old doctor says, "You've been eating too much fruit. Eat less fruit, and you should feel better." As the two doctors leave the house, the young man asks, "How did you make a diagnosis so quickly? You didn't even examine the lady." "Simple, I dropped my stethoscope, and as I was picking it up, I saw that the trash can under the table was full of banana peels. I immediately realized what was wrong." They move on to the next house, where they are greeted by another lady. This time, it's the young doctor's turn. "Doctor, I've been feeling exhausted and weak lately," complains the lady. "Well, ma'am, maybe you should do less volunteering for the church and get more rest," replies the young doctor. As they leave, the surprised old doctor asks his colleague, "How did you know that? After all, you didn't even examine the lady and you don't know anything about her." "Simple," replies the young doctor. "I dropped my stethoscope, and as I was picking it up, I saw the priest under the bed." Three men are sitting at a bar having a beer. They're discussing what they want their family and friends to say when the time comes and they are laying in their caskets. The first man says, "I want them to say, I was a great father and a great friend. And I want them to say, I was dependable." The second guy says, "I just want them to talk about how much I helped change the world and how I left it a better place for others." The third guy just sips his beer. One of the other men asks, "Hey, what about you? What do you want your family and friends to say about you?" The third guy thinks for a moment while taking another swig of his beer. Then he says, "I guess I'd like them to look at me and say, look, he's still breathing." A man is spending a Sunday at the park with his three young children. They are all enjoying the sunny afternoon when one of his daughters comes up to him and tugs on his shirt sleeve. "Daddy, Daddy," she says. "Yes, dear, what is it?" asks the father. "Daddy, why is my name Daisy?" the young girl asks. "Well, dear, when you were born, a daisy blew through the window and landed on your head. So your mother and I decided to name you Daisy," her father replies. Hearing their conversation, the man's other daughter asks, "Daddy, what about me? Why is my name Rose?" "Well, when you were born, a rose fell on your head. So we decided to name you Rose," her father answers. Suddenly his son pipes up, "My favorite color is potato." The father glances over his shoulder at his son and says, "How nice, Brick." Two brothers, Sean and Kurt, go fishing. Every time Sean throws his hook in, he catches a fish, but Kurt can't seem to get even a nibble on his line. Kurt says, "Hey Sean, what are you using for bait?" Sean replies, "Just worms." Kurt says, "Me too. Maybe I should cast my line closer to yours." So, Kurt casts his line again and waits. After an hour, still nothing. By the end of the day, Sean caught 12 fish, but Kurt caught nothing. The next day, Kurt wakes up at the crack of dawn, dresses in Sean's clothes, and grabs Sean's rod and reel. He goes down to the river and sits exactly where Sean was sitting the day before. He casts his line and waits. Even as the darkness clears and the sun rises into the sky, Kurt has not even gotten a nibble. He is about to give up and leave when a fish pops its head out of the water and asks, "Where's Sean?" A woman walks into a butcher's shop on Christmas Eve just before closing time and asks, "Do you have any turkey?" The butcher replies, "I think I'm about sold out, but let me check." The butcher opens his fridge and sees he has only one turkey left. He takes the turkey out and puts it on the weighing scales. "This one weighs 15 pounds, he tells the woman. The woman looks at the turkey on the scales and asks, "Do you have one that's a bit bigger than this one, please?" The butcher acts like he is putting the turkey back into the fridge, but then takes it out again. This time, he presses his thumb down on the turkey as he places it on the scales. "This one weighs 20 pounds, he tells the woman. "That's wonderful," says the woman. "Would you like this one then?" asks the butcher. "Actually," says the woman, "I'll take both of them, please." A man goes into the hospital for a vasectomy. Before the procedure, a very attractive nurse comes in and takes his vitals, then tells him to take all of his clothes off. When he is fully undressed, she instructs him to lie down on the table. The man obeys. The nurse then takes all of her clothes up and climbs on top and has her way with him. Upon the completion of the act, the man catches his breath and asks what that was all about. The nurse informs the patient that studies have shown that before a vasectomy, if the man has an ejaculation, it will be more relaxed and that the vasectomy is easier for the surgeon to locate and sever, thereby making the surgery safer, more efficient, and quicker. The nurse then wheels the patient to the operating room. While they are going down the hall, the patient looks through a window to the right and sees 6 men in a room masturbating. Curious, the man asks, "What are they doing in there?" The nurse responds, "They are getting vasectomies too, but you have Blue Cross and they have Obamacare." My friends, if you want to watch other funny jokes, subscribe to the channel.